Hey everyone, this is Nayan and today we are going to make a Tic-Tac-Toe program. So first we are going to design the basic layout of the program, and after that we are going to move to the execution part. So first let's start with the layout part. Hey everyone, so now let's design the basic layout of the whole program. Fine. So our program must contain a main method. This main method will call few methods, which are first will be player X, another will be player O, third will be check winner, and fourth will be reinitialize check. Fine. So now what will this method player X do? This method player X will basically initialize X at the particular row and column which will be given by the user. So let's say if the user gives the value 1, 1. So this method will return a box containing X at this position. Fine. X at 1, 1, because the row is 1 and the column is also 1. Fine. So what will this method player O do? This method player O will do the same thing, but it will just initialize O instead of X. Fine. What will this method check winner do? This will basically check if there are any 3 consecutive X or O's horizontally, vertically or diagonally. Fine. What will this method reinitialize check do? It will basically check if the input given by the user has already been assigned or not. So let's say if user inputs a value 1, 1, because 1, 1 has already been assigned here, it will give invalid input as a result, and it will ask the user to give the value again. Fine. So this is the basic layout of the whole program, and now let's begin with the coding part. So now currently I am with the main method. So first let's create the main box of the game, which is the basic layout. So let's create 2D array of character, and let's name it box is equal to new, and let us keep the size as 3 cross 3. Fine. Okay. So now let's print it first. Int I is equal to 0, and we have to run it till box.length. Fine. And here I will keep on increasing. For int j is equal to 0, and j will keep on increasing till box.length, no issue, and j plus plus, no problem. Now just print it. Let's just print it. Vertical column plus box. No. Yeah, let's just print the box. Fine, no issue. Box value added particular row and column, because I is row and j is column. Fine. I hope you understand this. Great. So now also initialize I and j as 0, as empty box, right? Empty space, no issue. So now let's remove this next line here and insert it here, because we don't have to enter next line in a particular row. We have to enter next line only when we complete 3 boxes. Fine. Now let's just print it. Wow, no problem, it's absolutely correct. Now here let's do another thing here. Now let's first create a new method here, which is player X, public void player X, and with parameters as int, row, and int column and 2D character array named as box. Amazing. And let's just print it. What does this method do? It just prints the whole box with x initialized at that particular row and column. That's all this method does. Fine. So x is equal to 0 here, and we have to add it in and like this, cut it. Wait, this is a wrong cut. Just cut it here. Add an if statement here. If I is equal to row and j is equal to column, no problem. Then just do this. Else just print then empty box. Print an empty box, right? Copy this, just paste it here. That's all. Yep, it's done. Great. Now let's just copy this whole method again here and paste it here. Fine. Now just change the name as player O, right? And insert an O here, right? Yeah, that's all. The only difference between player X and O is that player X initializes that particular row and column with X, and player O initializes that box at that particular row and column with that particular O. Fine, that's all. That's the only difference between it. Fine. And now let's make some other changes here. That's all, I guess. Fine. Now let's move with the reinitialize method and check if any of the player has won the match. Fine. So now here let's create a new method here named as public boolean, because it will return a boolean type. Okay, so let's name it as check winner. Fine. And let's have parameters same as all the other methods. Copy and just paste it here. Fine, great. Now to check all those to check whether any particular player has won the match, let's make a loop here. Fine. It's I keeps on increasing till box dot length, and also keep on increasing, no issue. Great. And now here let's create an if statement here, that if box at that particular position I and 0th column is equal to x, and let's copy this, so not this bracket, just this stuff. Okay, paste here and again paste here. Fine, great. Again made a mistake here, but no issue. Fine. So now let's change the value as 1 here and 2 here. Fine. Or let's add an or here, also a bracket here and also a bracket here too. Amazing. Now let's just copy this stuff, copy and paste. O and O. Fine. Now let's do another thing here, which is I'm doing this in fast forward motion, right? Okay, so I did all the changes in the method. Fine. And now let's make a new method for replacing the input given by the user, which is already initialized let's create a variable, boolean variable named as is reinitialized is equal to false and return is reinitialized. Amazing. Now let's add a if statement here. If that particular box that particular row and column is equal to x or it is equal to O, or let's add another statement here which says that if the player inputs a value greater than 2, for that case too let's repeat the whole loop, right? Let's take another input for that in that case too, right? So let's say row, let's add it here at the beginning. If row is also equal greater than 2, or if column is greater than 2, fine. In that case, what do we have to return? We have to return an invalid. We have to return a statement which says invalid input. Amazing. Great. Now also let's initialize is equal to false, true. Great. Done. So now all the methods are completed, and now let's make the changes in the main method. Fine. Now let's make the changes in the main method. Fine. So now let's create an object here of the same package named as obj, and fine. Great. So now let's start taking input. New scanner system dot in. Great. Now let's create a for method. I is equal to 0. No issue. I is greater than. Let's repeat the loop for 6 times, and that would be sufficient. I would say. Great. Now let's do this in a, and here clear x input the value. Fine. Great. And let's make some changes here. Let's make 2 things here, int row and int column. Fine. Row is equal to scn dot. Okay, so we are taking input here, and we'll keep on taking input here. Column is equal to Fine, we have to do this while obj dot reinitialize checked, like right, row comma column comma box. Wow, great. Now let's print it for player x, because it was for player x, right? It was for player x, so now let's print it for player x. Player x row comma column comma box. Great. Now let's check if the player x is winner. I'm sorry, made some error here. obj dot row comma column comma box. Fine, break, and also say that x is winner. Fine, now let's copy this whole stuff and let's paste it also for y, player y, sorry, o, and o is winner. Let's do done. It's done. Let's go, boys, it's done. Let's run the program. Hope it will work out well. It's a 0 0. Yep, it's getting printed. Let's say 1 comma 1. Amazing. Let's say x enters the value as 0 comma 1. Amazing. And y inputs the value as 0 2 comma 0. Amazing. And x enters the value as 0 comma 2. X is winner. Let's go, boys. Thank you. Do like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Signing off. Bye.